This is the review for Fate Apocrypha for our anime club for Project Nobat. If it's the first time here, well, it makes sense because it's the first one we ever did.
Yeah!
Yep. So,
and it
George,
may not be the last.
I'm gonna try not. So if you, for all three of you that's probably gonna start watching this, tell your friends, and then we'll watch anime and talk about
start
it.
watching this podcast or start watching Fate Apocrypha? Because one of them, she definitely keep listening to this podcast. Probably should start Fate Apocrypha.
And of course,
but yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, we're not going to go too heavy into it, but at the same time... Actually, no, yeah, what I'm saying, you're going to watch this if you've seen Fate Apocrypha, and or if you don't care about spoilers. Chris, do you care about spoilers?
No.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is here too.
Matt, don't lie down. You're going to be further away from the mic.
Actually, have we even done introductions?
No, yeah, I'm trying to get there, but we keep getting sidetracked, and that's one of the...
Don't even worry about it.
We said it again?
Don't even worry about it.
He has the right idea. He's gonna Matt's laying down. He's gonna fall asleep. Then he's gonna get out of some of Fate Apocrypha. I should have did that.
Fuck off. I'm George. I'm one of the guys that usually screams in all the other videos, and I'm the one who get Nero Bride. With me is Matt, who got Joan of Arc for some fucking reason.
Yo.
And we have Moses, who also completed Fate Apocrypha.
I unfortunately did. It's
Yeah.
a lot of willpower.
Yeah. So at the end of the video, I'm actually going to announce what the next show is going that we're going to be recording. So
are you sure you want to do that? Because this was
it's gonna be edited in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh god. Okay.
No, you don't have to worry about it. It's gonna be edited in. But if you want to like be part of the discussion, yeah. Oh god, I've hit that level of YouTube commentary. So if you want to be part of it, just
like it, and leave comments.
Well, I was just gonna say leave the comments, because no one outside of the subscription list watches these videos anyway. But I'm actually feeling pretty proud right now, because over the year I think I gained 25 subscribers.
Not bad.
That's pretty big considering how long it's been around. So now at like 205.
Look at you, I got even one extra subscriber.
Hey.
That's it.
Well, Moses, your problem is, one, your videos are always 4 hours long. Two...
Hey, 2 hours long, okay? Okay, let's get that straight.
Two, you are the one... You're one of the few people who I know who not only do YouTube with... Well, now... at the same time as I do, but you update just as infrequently as I do.
I've been doing 2-week intervals so far.
Have you? I didn't notice that.
That just started.
So yeah, you posted a video 2 weeks ago, and you posted a video this week.
No, I think this is the third one I've been consistent with. Yeah.
I'll double check that later.
I broke a video into 2 parts. You know.
Hey, Moses, what is the channel that you work on? You could.
I work on. I didn't want to play, but okay.
Hey, sure, come down.
My channel is called Channel Shadow Moses. I do game reviews, and a few movie reviews, and we're gonna start doing some live reaction stuff too.
Yeah, today.
That might be posted today.
If you go back to Channel Shadow Moses' videos, you should leave a like every single.
What'd you say?
If you go to Channel Shadow Moses' videos, isn't that what you called it?
You said something so weird the first time. You said Channel Moses.
If you go back to his videos, check to see how many times you see Hattori Lionheart playing Honey Pop, and leave a like every time you see it.
You're talking about like the time we tried channeling Moses?
What? No.
No, not that.
我らは英雄求道者にして戦人その信仰は変わらない
いいだろうふさわしい最後を遂げるがいい
Moses, you just watched Fate Apocrypha.
There you go.
I watched Fate Apocrypha when it first came out. Matt watched Fate Apocrypha when it first came out. Chris is just along for the ride, but if he has something to add or question, you can feel free. So, you just finished it. So, you had a couple of questions that you wanted to talk about, Papa John's.
Yep.
Ah, damn it. Alright, so...
Get right.
You know, whatever, this is gonna stay in.
Oh my god.
So, Matt.
Apocrypha, yeah, so... This show was... I don't know, Fate has all been done. Every instance of Fate has all been done by a different studio. So when I saw this one was being done by A1, I was like, okay, A1's put out some pretty good stuff in the past. Like, they're not gonna look as good as Ufotable or Ufotable. I don't know how the fuck you pronounce that, but anyways, so I knew it wasn't going to look anywhere near as good. But I thought, okay, well, I know that there's original source material for Apocrypha, so I guess I can watch this. Because I'm not going to go find the original source material, because, well, I just don't do that. I just watch anime. When I got told that it was instead of, how many servants are there normally? 7?
Yeah, there's normally 7 in the Holy Grail War, and in this one there's 14. 15 if you include the ruler class, who's actually not designed, but whose purpose is to look over the Great Holy Grail. Yeah, she's a referee. She makes sure shit gets done. And then when there are just one servant of each class, then the normal Holy Grail War can begin. But like as Moses will tell you when he gets back from getting the pizza from downstairs, he wants a show that actually follows the rules. So you would think that he would like Joan of Arc, but he'll explain why in a minute. So, Matt, what did you like? What did you not like about the show as a whole? If you can remember.
So I liked the characters. I liked the servants.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't really get into Fate until after. Well, I mean, I watched 06 back in the day.
Oh boy!
And I watched the Unlimited Blade Works movie.
Oh boy!
That came out in 08 or 09 or
yeah, all that lack of animation.
And I was like, ugh.
Moses and I were actually talking about how old episodes of Dragon Ball Z and how it was like compared to anime now is probably super cheap to make, only because there's very little animation in those episodes.
Yeah.
Like we were watching like a scene where the dragon was being summoned, and it was a slow pan, just like from the bottom of the picture all the way up, and then it switched screens. It was like another picture from the left all the way to the right, and then whenever someone's speaking, it's just like 3 frames of just like lip movement. Especially if it was from Shenmue, he was talking, it was just lip movement, like 3 frames. Fate 06 and Fate Unlimited Blade Works movie, they had nowhere near as much animation except for the movie. When it got to like the midway to the end of the movie, they actually ramped it up.
But that's because it's a movie, and a movie can get away with it.
Yeah.
But then Unlimited Blade Works 2014 came out, and then I was just yeah.
You saw Zero though.
And Zero. Well, yeah, I did see Zero first. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until actually the Phase Zero had come out where I actually really wanted to get into the series more and understand like what is going on.
Mm.
So I think Apocrypha stacked up against everything that's been out already.
Well, here's the thing about Apocrypha. This is the first one I'm pretty sure that was released like in an anime format, where it has nothing to do with the main timeline. It has nothing to do with Fate Zero, Fate Unlimited Blade Works, even 06. It's its own separate thing.
Which is easy to get into if you haven't seen any of the previous Fates.
But they do have a lot of callbacks to their previous Fates.
They do, but
like you see several characters actually appear, but they're either like they explain why they're not there, or it's just like what's the word I'm looking for? Fan service, I guess. Like not in the traditional guy next bounce fan service. It's just I know that guy. Yeah.
Which, I mean...
And it happened a lot, especially with the flashbacks with some of the other servants.
Well, and again, that's because this is designed, obviously, for people who like the series. But,
yes.
I mean, if you come into this blind, like, without having seen any of the previous stuff, I mean, you're not going to be too lost. Like, there's no required viewing for this, although I recommend that you do...
Shit.
Even though I recommend that you do anyways.
Well, here's the thing with Apocrypha. There's very little you actually do need to go through. You just need to really be aware of Arturia. That's all you really need to know.
Yeah.
That's it. And even then, she has nothing to do with anything. Like, it helps if you know who Irie is and if you know anything about the Heaven's Field. But honestly, if you know less about the Heaven's Field, I think that helps.
My problem with this show is its pacing in the first half and the fact that during some of the fight scenes, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it look like it was
more
battle
fluid
and everything.
No,
But-
you mean they're just trying to make it look more fluid, like with the actual motions?
But I actually went back to one of the episodes and I went frame by frame, and they took there was a lot of shortcuts, a lot of seemingly skipped frames, and it looked awful to me, like the fight between Karna and
Karna and Sieg.
yeah,
That was a good fight.
it was, but I feel like again it suffered from not having as good an animation as Ufotable.
No, you can't blame that.
I won't blame everything on not being UFO stable. I mean, I can't do that. But during that back half, there were about 2 fights where I did see. I'm like, do you remember the episode of Naruto versus Pain with that animation?
Yeah, with the
it
no
got to
true
that,
pain.
and I was
Yeah.
like, this is not okay.
All right, so here's the thing with that style animation. Well, not really style, but So what it is it's not even budget. No, because how it works is whenever Disney characters do this actually, where you see like if you actually do go frame by frame, you see characters' faces like sometimes morph into form. Like a perfect example, you've seen the picture with Gaston, like from Beauty and the Beast. There's a scene where he just goes. I'll put the picture here. Yeah. They do that for all the guys because, it's natural for everything else. But what they want to do for all the women, they don't get any scenes like that because their faces are supposed to be perfect and pristine and everything else. But with a guy, they don't care if it's just like it's all whatever. But they do that because people's faces contort into like strange shapes. They make different distortions like just normally every day. So they were trying to recreate that. But the problem you might see is sometimes they kind of hold that face too long and it looks a little uncomfortable, but it's meant to.
Okay. So
That being said, there was a lot of bull shots that didn't look
I
very good.
see what you're saying, and I'm going to disagree with style because style goes only so far. Where I think I honestly, that's a lack of budget.
Well, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a lack of style. That's the wrong word. It's more like a technique to make it look like it's actually more fluid and lifelike.
No, fluid.
Yeah.
Yes, that it stops and ends there because it doesn't look lifelike. It looks bad.
Like I know the scene you're talking about. You're talking about the scene. Well,
Pain.
a scene.
Yes.
Kind of like with Pain, with like. But an example that I'm thinking of is with Berserker going.
Which Berserker? Sure.
Berserker or Black. Fran.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm like, are we still talking about?
We'll talk about Fran. We're talking about Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah, she's really cool. Okay. All right, so one of the main reasons why we're doing this is because Moses just recently watched it, 3 days ago at the time of this? So I'm actually more interested in hearing your thoughts.
Apocrypha as a whole?
Yeah. Like things you like, things you didn't like.
Put this down real quick. Okay, so I don't hate Apocrypha. I say that even though it sounds like I do. At the end of the day, I don't think I hate Apocrypha. I just don't think... I just actually don't like how it was constructed. I actually don't like the storyline or the plot so much. I'm much more in line with the original one, where there's 7 servants, they all have to fight out a total war, because every Fate story goes sideways at some point, whether it's early on, like in apparently Heavenfield, or way later, like in Unlimited Blade Works. At some point, that thing goes sideways and the rules get thrown out the window. I feel like that happened really early in this one, and especially where...
Well, the purpose of the Greater Holy Grail War is shit went sideways before the story began.
Well, I guess it's kind of that, the way I like watching is, like, I'm kind of a stickler for, like, if we're having set rules, let's listen, I get it. I mean, that wouldn't mean I would hate every Fate. I'm not saying that. But I feel like no rules applied outside of if you win, you get the Grail. Fuck every other rule. You get a command seal. You get a command seal. Can I get 2? We'll give you 1. I'm like, why is that even happening?
Okay, well, because the ruler has the ability to do that.
No. I get that she has the ability, but I feel like even, like, ruler's supposed to be kind of like the referee, kind of, and she literally did the exact opposite of what a referee should do.
Well, that's because one of the teams just straight up stopped playing the game.
But even if, again, I feel, actually, now that I think about it, you're gonna hate this, Matt, but I think most of her problems stem from Jonah Arc. Like, she's supposed to be this OP, like, hey, if you're out of line, I'm gonna put you in check. besides the end fight with Shiro, where she tries to put Shiro in check, I didn't really see her doing a good job of putting anyone in check.
Did she save an entire town from Berserker's attack?
No, but that's not putting them in check. That's solving a problem's cause. Like when she fought Lancer in the very beginning, I can't remember the episode. But
well, no, go on.
I was gonna say, like, I don't see this overwhelming power. I feel like you're just like any other servant that has a few extra abilities, but you don't really stop anything. Like the way they describe Ruler is, I'm OP, I'm broken. Stay the fucking line, or you're gonna get punished. But I didn't really feel that. In fact, she just felt conflicted the whole time about doing everything, and then wannabe Shiro, not Shiro, just kind of like made that worse.
Okay, wait, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about actual Shiro, or are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm thinking of Sig.
Okay.
Okay, well, Sieg sucks, first of all.
Sieg is not great.
Sieg is not great.
I mean, towards the end, I mean, you can't argue her actions because there was a greater threat that was going to screw everybody.
Yeah.
It was already too late to try and enforce the rules because they were long gone by.
Yeah, screw the rules. Fucking everyone's got money.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like she should have been able to stop this earlier because they're saying that she is this great ruler. She's in charge. She's okay broken. I don't see any of that. I just see her as another servant. Like, I don't see her stronger than anyone. In fact, she was fighting other people, which felt like a normal servant match.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to see, like, Gilgamesh level broken.
Oh God, no, she's not that strong.
Then why even be there?
Okay, because she's supposed to, again, not to keep the peace, but she has several duties that she has to do. She has to make sure that the Holy Grail War is actually fought to the completion. That actually she failed. She has to make sure that people outside not involved in the war are kept safe. That she did do.
I remember that.
She basically has all these sorts of abilities. Like she can use the command. She has collected a bunch of command seals, where she can use that to either power up like specific servants, or she can use that to incentivize other people to help her. Like which she does with Kyrie, Mordred, and Sieg actually. There's a whole bunch of I think you're thinking that Ruler had that much more of like a role, but she's still first and foremost supposed to be a bystander. And not really a bystander. No, that's wrong. She's more like a wild card that can actually like help put things in perspective and in check. Like when she was going up against Karna, but then Sieg showed up. No, she was going up against Karna, but then Siegfried showed up, and he's like, "Well, we're gonna take you. We're gonna both take you on." He was like, "No, I'm not. You guys go ahead and go and fight. I don't fucking care." And the guy was like, "Well, what? Why?" He was like, "You guys are actually having a Holy Grail fight. I'm not gonna interfere in that."
I remember that.
Yeah. But no, she's not like this all incredibly powerful being, but she is stronger than most of the other servants.
No, but I could have
like in the end, it took another ruler to beat her. You gotta remember that.
I could have swore she's stronger than all the other servants. I thought that's what it was supposed to be, at least in that position in that rare war.
You know, this is not gonna bug me. I'm gonna look up her stats to see exactly where her strength lied. But
in her friends.
There is no friends in that. Like the closest you really got. Okay, yeah. But
and her friend that showed up at the end out of nowhere. I'm like, what?
Her friend that showed up in the end out of nowhere.
The one that killed all those kids and he felt really bad. He showed up at the end. He wears silver armor, hair. He's not a normal servant.
Gilderay.
There you go.
Gilderay. Oh. All right. Well.
And I don't understand how that happened. Maybe I felt. Maybe I.
You might have. You do realize who that was though.
I know who that was. I don't know how he got there.
Oh, because Shakespeare summoned him.
So I thought he was an illusion at first, and then he stayed.
Yeah, that's what everyone did.
And then I'm like, I'm confused. Why is he still there?
To be fair, yes, there are a lot of things that confuse people in fate, anything fate related, really. And it takes a massive amount of I wouldn't say willpower, but you have to really pay attention. I just realized this wasn't my key.
It takes a massive amount of Wikipedia to understand.
That too, yeah, especially some of the servants that you get, that you see. But
yeah.
I thought the show was good. I thought it was pretty fun to watch. I wasn't a great fan of the ending, but honestly, the best thing about this one, Fate Apocrypha, was just the servants and the ones who actually summoned in some of the fights. Like Mordred's top 2 best saber. Like she really is. Only second to Nero. She's
top 3, third.
No. No, Attila's fine,
Mordred
yeah.
is-
But you can't say you like Attila until you play Extella. You actually cannot say that.
Mordred is fun. I like her.
Mordred's great. And here's the thing. Like, I was actually disappointed at the fact that I didn't know... Going into the Fate Apocrypha, the first instance I had with it was the manga. Chapter 1 is Mordred being summoned. So I thought the whole anime was about Kairi and Mordred.
Wow.
I didn't know who the fuck Sieg was. I didn't care who the fuck Sieg was. And so when I got a little bit more disappointed. It was just like, oh, there's technically 3 like points of view we're gonna watch this from. We're gonna watch it from John's point of view. We're gonna watch it from the Yiglet Millennia fuckers, and we're gonna watch it from Sieg's point of view. And I'm thinking, well, what about Kairi? I care more about him. He had a cool backstory. The reason why he was after the Grail was really awesome. Like, did you catch that?
Who?
Kairi, the Necromancer.
Oh.
Like Mordred's master.
I don't remember why.
He wants it because he had inherited a specific type of power where like he had like access to like really powerful magic and necromancy. But the trade-off was he can never have children.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so when he tried to adopt and pass on his magic crest, every time he did it, the kid would die.
I remember that.
Yeah, and so, and again, that makes his relationship with Mordred so much more cooler because I don't know if you ever picked up on this, but when servants are summoned, usually like by their masters, they have some kind of a relationship or they have like similar personalities.
Okay.
Usually this usually happens when
usually got it.
Yeah, no. Again, there are exceptions. Like unless you have
Ryder and Waver.
Ryder and Waver, he was okay. Things that can kind of curb that and steer it away from it are if you have a catalyst, if you're trying to specifically summon a servant with said catalyst, and other than that, actually, I think that's really it. Like for the most part, every servant who's been summoned by their master, they have some kind of a relationship or similar personality that you may or may not know about until it's revealed later on in the story. Like Mordred obviously has daddy issues, and Kairi basically wants to have an heir. There's things like that.
I think Mordred and Kairi are actually the best team, like master servant team in that whole show. Actually,
I'm willing to argue that they're one of the best dynamics in like all of Fate.
I would have to sit down and think about that. I mean, as much as I love Arturia, my least favorite character is also her master, so I can't say that.
Which time?
Huh?
Which time?
Are you talking about Unlimited Blade Works?
Unlimited Blade Works, Fate Zero.
I'm talking about the original masters, just for the sake of simplicity. Because people change masters in that show.
Well, it was kind of the same reason, like personality-wise. That's why they summoned. Well, one of the reasons why they summoned. But no, Shiro actually summoned Arturia because he had Avalon.
I'm trying to. Oh, I'm sorry. I get that. I was trying to think of other dynamics that I really like, and I actually did really like Ryder and oh my god, I just said his name. Ryder and
Sieg?
Fate Zero.
Oh, Waver.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I actually did really like their bond. I thought their partnership in that show might have been the best. At least my favorite. Anyway.
Yeah. Now, because Kiritsugu, when he summoned Saber, when he summoned Arturia, they had nothing in common.
Fuck Kiritsugu. I hate him.
I love Kiritsugu. He's
maybe
badass.
Maybe I just don't like the onions.
You don't. You don't.
Hey, he wanted to win, and he did what it took.
Yeah, until he didn't win anymore. Because, again, Moses, no one's ever going to win the Holy Grail because the Holy Grail is always fucked up.
I wanted to watch Lancer and Saber finish that fight.
Yeah, everyone did.
Oh, with Diomed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Arturia versus Diomed. Yeah, everyone did, Moses.
Yeah.
And then he got capable himself.
Oh my god, I just realized something. I think this is the first Fate series where Lancer doesn't kill himself.
Wait, I thought he didn't in Heaven's Field.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He didn't die in Heaven's Field. You're right.
So I remember I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but hopefully you watched Heaven's Field too. So sorry.
Well, here's the thing. like that's still kind of part of like the main timeline, but at the same time, it's not Zero. It's like the Fate and then the 3 arcs.
Yeah.
And Unlimited Blade Works, yeah, he does, because he doesn't do it in the original Fate either. Gilgamesh kills him. But actually, you know what? It doesn't happen in Extra either. Now I think about it, like no matter which route you go through, it doesn't happen in Extra.
So it only happens twice or once. Twice.
One, two, yeah.
Wait, who's the Lancer in Extra?
It depends on how you play. Yeah.
'Cause the other-
So I don't know what's going to be in the show. I can't tell you that.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they've. Well, I didn't play Extra, but I'm watching the anime that's going on.
Yeah,
right
but
now.
again, it's nothing like the game though, so it's hard to really use that.
And again, you probably shouldn't play Extra.
It's hard to say at this point now. So far, I'm having way more fun with this anime than the game.
I was really pleased though that in episode 2 I got to see Drake.
Yeah. Did you see 3 yet?
No.
You need to watch 3. Anyway, so let's go back to Apocrypha. Yeah, I know Moses, but so what did you think of like the new flavor of the month, Astolfo? the new waifu of the month.
God, for 24 weeks, Facebook was just flooded with him.
Oh man.
I swear, you could not escape it.
Okay, wait, real quick before you say your thing, Matt. What did you think of the scene where John found out that Astolfo was a man?
I thought
That was great.
I did
Yeah, so I thought it was really odd that even in a casual setting where they were just wandering around town, he still dresses like a girl.
Hey man, he likes what he likes. Don't judge him.
Welcome to anime.
Welcome to 2017.
No.
18.
And I have an invention too. Welcome to anime.
Oh fuck, it did. Anime's progressive, dude.
I like her a lot.
Ouran High School Host Club too.
No, it's anime.
Anime.
And how can I say it? And
Backwards. They call those reverse traps.
Oh my god, I can't. Anyway, yeah. So I like them a lot. I thought it was really interesting when they showed just how weak he was compared to Saber Red.
Saber of Red?
Yeah. Mordred.
Yeah.
You know, when they did that fight, because like when I watch like Fate Zero or anything, like Ryder versus Saber. That's a pretty decent fight. Lancer versus Saber is a pretty decent fight. I see this Ryder versus Saber. I was like, wow, this is it's a little one-sided here. So I think it was really interesting. I think it's really interesting who the last servant alive in that. It's no one to say because maybe we're not going to get there yet. Anyway.
Well, again, you're watching this because you saw all of it and you wanted to hear a discussion about Fate.
Okay, cool. I can't believe he lived. Like that surprised the shit.
Not only can I not believe he lived, I can't believe he lived past the Grail War.
So when when she was blocking that thing from Assassin's ship, I was like, oh, he's going down because those were the episodes where people were just dropping like flies.
Yeah. Because they realized, oh shit, we still have 10 servants left. Well.
So let me ask you guys this, and hopefully it's not from the first part because I don't remember that part very well.
Okay.
What do you guys think was the best fight in the show?
Best fight?
Yes.
That's tough.
It is.
It's either Chiron versus Achilles or Mordred versus Semiramis.
Who?
Assassin of God.
See, I thought that fight was good, but I thought it could have been better. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it could have been a little better actually. She literally just sat in her fucking throne. She like final bossed you.
That's why. Like the feel of it was so cool. Like Jack was fucked.
Yeah.
Like man.
Yeah. You know what? Here's the thing. Actually, I can't say that. I missed an episode. And like, so I put these all on my phone. I was watching them. Like, I was doing dishes at work or whatever. And I was watching it while I was doing dishes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, something's wrong. They went into town. Now they just found Jack. And I'm 6 minutes into this episode. I'm not going back. So I missed a big chunk of that.
Actually, I think all you missed was they were looking for Jack and they found Jack. End of the episode.
Okay. I didn't know what I missed.
They planned on fighting Jack, but they realized a few things, and one was one of Jack's abilities. It's concealment of identity. And what happens is...
I thought we already knew that.
Well, no, they were trying to figure out a way to, like, circumvent it.
Oh, okay.
Because one of her abilities is concealment of identity,
yeah.
Where she, after you fight her, and if you somehow survive, you don't remember what she looks like, what she did, anything. So, she basically 51st dates you.
Wow.
I can't believe you went there.
I kind of did.
I was thinking about that movie today, actually. But go on.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, so they're trying to think, well, how the fuck are we going to do this? I mean, what if she just runs away again? We don't. What if Assassin runs away again? We won't even know what they look like. We won't know what to do.
I remember that.
And so
you just kill her.
Yeah, but they tried that 3 times at this point. Oh, what did you think of her master, though?
I think the episode I missed is where she died.
It can't be.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because that happened right before this.
So you didn't.
No. So I saw her die, but something happened to her when she was dying that I missed.
Oh, yeah, she used her remaining command seals to say Jack you have to live. So
does that work? Why do they do it?
Okay,
Is it a morale boost? Is that all it is?
I told this to Matt like a few months back. So how command seals work?
Gilgamesh will not kill you. Oops.
Did you see Kogias?
I did, but I don't remember it as much as I should.
Do you remember towards the end of the series? Spoilers for Kogias.
For season 1 or 2?
2.
Okay, go on.
Hey, it's over 10 years old. It's okay now.
My God, it's so old.
And it's starting again, guys.
It kind of is.
Doesn't need to.
Not kinda. It is.
Yeah. So there's a scene where Suzaku is fighting Lelouch, and they basically was holding up, and they were like stuck in a position where if Suzaku didn't get out the way, everyone would die. So Lelouch opens his cockpit. He like uses his Gias and tells him he has to live. And at that point, he does anything possible to like live in possible situations. Okay. So that actually comes back later on towards season 2, towards the end of season 2, where they end up using like some bullshit like reaction skills combined with like the Gias like you telling him to live. So he can instantly see, like, his body can instantly feel the best course of action to, like, avoid that shit, things like that. It's kind of like that. How that will work with your
plot armor.
A little bit, but it's less so in the Fate series because to this point it had yet to work.
Yes.
Where if the more concrete your order is for your command seal, the easier it is to put out. But something like abstract, like live, or what Rin does in Fate, obey everything I say, is like it kind of works kind of like in the background, but at the same time, it's just like, well, if you don't do anything like that, then you're gonna feel it to some degree.
I felt it was just a morale boost. Like, hey guys. So
what it did was it basically, and I think it enhanced like her ability to, like her senses to fight. It does give her a bit of power because she's using like the command seals are concentrated mana infused like from the Holy Grail, so you can use that to like power up. Like that's how some people use the command seals to heal wounds. It's basically meant so that if you're basically forcing a servant to fight beyond their limits if possible. That's basically what it is.
Anime, so it's possible.
Yeah. Well, not always, because Waver did that with Ryder, and you saw what happened with Ryder.
Hey, those are still beyond his limits. He just died. Limits up.
But that's basically what it did.
Okay.
So there is a purpose, but at the same time, it's a lofty one, and it rarely pans out.
Okay.
In fact, the only person who's ever had a command seal order such as that and it actually worked out in the end was Rin.
How did it work out?
So when Rin first summoned Archer in Fate's Day Night, this takes place like in the prequel, so it technically takes place across all 3 arcs.
Yeah.
Archer takes a look at her and is like, this little girl's gonna be my servant? Okay, you just stay right here.
I remember she wasted command so long.
Yeah, well, what it did was, you just sit in your tower, I'm gonna win this whole war for you, little girl. And it was like, are you gonna, like, question my authority? And it was like, you have no authority. You probably don't even know what you're getting yourself into. I'm gonna handle this. Like, you're gonna follow my commands. No, I'm not. You're just gonna sit here. And with independent action, I can do whatever. So, you just gotta make sure you supply your mana, whatever. And then you're like, no, you're gonna obey my every command. And she uses the command seal, and it's like, why would you do that? You just wasted a command seal. But it ended up working so that he fought anything that he asked of her. She asked of him, he has to follow it. Otherwise, like, all of his abilities just get nerfed.
So I can't. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And that's actually why it becomes a plot point later on in Unlimited Blade Works, where he does what he does, like when he betrays her.
I don't know why, I just don't know why. But in Heaven's Field, him just saying, I guess I'm not doing Unlimited Blade Works today, just made my day. I don't know why. It was just so funny. I'm like, he just say he's not going to do it.
You want to know something crazy? So they do character polls for anime, anything anime really. And the month Heaven's Field came out, Archer was number 1, and I think it was because of that line.
That was such a good line.
When you play the visual novel, like that's the route where where it
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
Well, no, it had to be before that.
Well, it is before that. Like with decisions, like the dialogue options, like you look the things that the actions you take, but prior to that, yeah, that's the point where it would go to.
I mean, no, that's not true. It is way before that.
Because
Unlimited Blade Works divert. I'm sorry.
Heaven's Field.
Like from Fate, when you go to Fate Unlimited Blade Works, that's maybe like for example. I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but for an example, when you're in the Fate arc until like Fate Stay Night always takes place over 14 days, and you're on the Fate arc until day 4 or 5. Then you go to Unlimited Blade Works. It only takes like day 2 or 3 before you get to Heaven's Field.
Because remember, Ryder got pieced the fuck out in the other ones.
Yeah.
And she did.
And they never fought that black thing either.
And here's the thing. And here's the thing too. In Fate and in what's it called? Heaven's Field, Shiro gets bodied by Berserker.
Yeah, he does. Because he's an idiot.
Yeah.
You don't fight a goddamn servant.
Literally the strongest servant. Well, okay, not besides Archer. I'm not gonna
No, physically the strong. Yes,
Yes.
he is. Like his strength rank was, I think.
S max.
It doesn't go S. It goes
A.
E C B A plus A plus plus A plus plus
Why not
plus.
just have S?
The highest rank is EX.
I thought it was EX plus.
No, it's EX.
EX plus alpha. What?
God damn it! Get the fuck out of here.
But yeah.
So to answer your question that we originally diverged from, I don't know. I don't remember that much about Jack's master.
Mm-hmm.
So
she was the. So how it worked was she was like Jack was part of the Yig Millennia, the black team, and like that family. She, or not she. The person who summoned Jack. It was one of the younger one's distant cousins, and he was in wherever the town the fuck they were at, like basically partying it up. He was just like, "Oh, I'm having fun. Oh, I got some of my thing or whatever." But whatever. And he literally calls a prostitute, and he was going to use that as a sacrifice to help do that after he had fun with her. But she got summoned right away, and Jack ends up killing him because anytime you summon Jack, like she looks for anyone who resembles who could possibly be a mother. So she follows the prostitute, and then was like, well, I don't care about this war, but if you want to be with me, that's fine. And so that's when they start killing everybody. They don't care who.
Okay. I guess, I mean, I'm never gonna rewatch the show, but I guess I'll have to kind of see just to get a full glimpse of her, because all of that happened in the first part, and that was 30 weeks ago.
Okay, well, actually, here's the thing: they don't even show what he looks like. Like they just in the anime, because the anime they take liberties with a few things from the books and the manga, but they just go right into it. It's like, oh, by the way, this is my master and this is my servant. One thing that I was pissed that the manga actually did way better. Like I still have yet to read the books, but they just glossed over it in the anime. Was when Kairi summoned Mordred. So, and this is for the purpose of the podcast. I know I told both of this, but when Kairi summoned Mordred, well, before he made his summon, he was asked by the Mage Association to go over the Yig Millennia, the Greater Holy Grail Wars happening. Take this. He looks at it. It's a rock. He's like, well, what's this? It's not a rock. It's a piece of the original round table from that King Arthur sat in. You need to summon King Arthur. That's going to be the best chance to fight these guys. I was like, okay, cool. So
we watched the old thing.
like, bitch and whatever. I'm gonna go to my best place where I could summon everything. So he goes to a graveyard, and he makes the magic circle. He has everything ready. He starts to summon. He uses the catalyst, and up comes someone clad in armor. Doesn't know who the fuck it is. He's like, okay. Takes off the helmet, and he goes, wait, you're a girl. And then Mordred just like, you finish that sentence, and I will fucking cut you. And then okay, well. It doesn't matter. As long as we get the job done, that's fine. It's good to meet you, King Arthur. And she goes, what the fuck did you call me? And they're like, are you not the King of Knights? And then it's like, what the fuck made you say that? And it's like, that's part of the round table. And she goes, what? And destroys it. And it's like, fuck, I can't believe that fucking piece of shit summoned me. And it's like, I know who you are. You're the Knight of Treachery. Welcome, Mordred.
Was Mordred a knight?
Oh yeah, she's part of the round table.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was part of the round table. I know she's part of the whole lore and everything. I know who she is. I didn't know she was a knight.
Yeah. Yeah, she's member of the round table.
Yep. At one point, I was able to tell you the original Knights of the Round Table, because there were always more after that. But
yeah,
I actually found out. I always had known Sir Ector. He was not one of the original. He came later.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoops.
As a kid, I actually was super into King Arthur lore, but it was through old cartoons and random shit.
Mordred was one of the other ones that came later as well.
Yeah, I didn't know about Mordred until I was after I entered college, before I even got into Fate.
Do you know who the first Knight of the Round Table was?
It's okay.
Lancelot?
Sir Lancelot.
Oh, it was Sir Lancelot. Oh, okay.
I watched Merlin, and he wasn't in Merlin.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was in Mordred.
Yeah.
My Mordred. He was in Merlin.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure in Merlin, he was actually the first one.
Yeah. I didn't see
Oh, the first knight?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think he was.
When he made the round table, I think he was.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I didn't get that far.
Yeah, Sir Lancelot, Sir Kay. There was another. I used to know them all. But yeah. But then, I wish I could talk about this, but this is actually as George mentioned a million times earlier, Granddaughter. It's actually a spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. But
oh, you mean the day I told you who Shielder is?
Yeah. Which I still.
That's still not. We're probably gonna get that actually before the end of this year.
Really?
I think so.
You think so? Mm-hmm. I mean, either way, I'm cool with it. But yeah, so. In case you all don't know, because I got more into Fate a lot in the last couple years than I ever was.
And this is slowly becoming a Fate channel anyway, so that's why I figured this is gonna be a good one for anime.
I'm just going to get this out there right now: is that ruler or. No, okay. There's several rulers.
There's 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to specifically say.
No, there's 5 Avengers. Go on.
Joan of Arc ruler and Shielder are 2 of my favorite characters in the entire series.
Okay.
Because Moses over here likes Arturia.
Matt, you don't even know about Joan of Arc Alter, the Dragon Queen.
I kind of do, but not. I actually really wanted Brunhilde, but yeah. So. Moses over here likes Arturia a lot, which, I mean, she's alright. I don't hate her, but...
I hate her. I hate her because it's so oversaturated.
Well, you're also a Mordred fan, so...
Well, I think that's just funny. But, well, no, it was more so that, okay, yeah, King Arthur, Saber was fine, but... honestly, in the original Fate, Archer's my favorite servant. Well, I think he's top 10 out of 10, the best one.
Archer's Emmy is probably he's probably my favorite Archer class.
Mm-hmm.
But he's awesome.
But then I played Extra, and the game is by no means the best. If you like Fate, then yeah, by all means play the game because it's still a really good Fate story. But as a game, not good. That being said, what you learn about Nero, even though she's got the same Arturia face, is just I think that's what really made me really like her. You learn everything about her, growing up and all the other things.
Sure, it's not just because she has a bigger bust than Arturia.
Here's the funny thing about that. So when they originally animated it, well, not animated, but made the stills, they actually gave her a way more of a modest chest. She was almost an exact copy of Arturia, but they made her. But they realized she is a little too different, a little too similar, and so it was well, we got to change something. The eyes are already different. This piece of official art actually gave her a bigger chest. Let's just make that canon, and so they just did that.
Yeah, I mean,
But no, well, and no, the reason why I like her more, not other than the fact that she had a better story, is because she's red. Red's my favorite color, man.
all right. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyways, yeah. I mean, I if I looked at a whole list of all the servants and all the classes, I mean, there's a lot that I.
There's too many.
But there's actually a lot that I do like that.
Well, who's your favorite in Apocrypha? Is it
in
Ruler?
Apocrypha?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, it's probably Karna.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. You really should play Extella then,
Karna's awesome.
because they both appear.
What I'm surprised though is that when they, I didn't actually know about that because again, and Fate's also a good source of like, well, okay.
If Fate came out like 10 years prior, like when I was still in high school, I would have been a history major because I love Fate so much.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say it's not the greatest source, but I mean you do kind of learn more about the history of some of these people.
I think you get an interest in it,
Or you
develop an interest in it.
Yeah, because I'm actually surprised because when I was playing Grand Order and they did a thing with Karna in it, I didn't know that Arjuna, the archer, was like his rival brother, something or another.
I think it's the rival god or something like that.
And Karna ends up killing him.
Oh, really? Well, Karna has the invincible armor. That's why.
So I didn't actually really even know about that. But yeah, I read about some of these. I already know who Achilles and Chiron were because, well...
You want to know what's really what originally got my goat? Well, not my goat, but what really got me wanting to get into Fate Apocrypha originally? Because when it was first announced, it was supposed to be an MMORPG, which completely died. So they've decided to take the story as a series of books, and that eventually became a manga, then a game, movie, show. Anyway, the first character they revealed for Apocrypha was Jack the Ripper, and that got me once because in high school, I had to do a report about Jack the Ripper. And I'm sitting here thinking, yep, they're following the King Arthur formula. They're just going to take her and turn her into like a petite little girl. But then, like a few years later, they actually had like not a breakthrough, but through like old forensic testing, they discovered who Jack the Ripper was. Because there was like some people claimed that there was going to be copycats, but they discovered who killed the original 5 prostitutes that were claimed to be done in by Jack the Ripper, and it was a Polish hairdresser from Ireland that would like go to England, cut up prostitutes, and then leave.
You know, there was a couple inaccuracies, which I mean, of course, because it's Fate.
I think it's more liberties, but yeah.
The whole servant thing. So
are you talking about Achilles?
No. So. In Grand Order, it says that the London, like when you go to London and it says what time period it is, it says AD 1880 something.
Okay, but that's a whole nother. Honestly, this is a whole nother podcast to go into because that's first of all they call that Londinium, not London. Second of all, those are alternate timelines, so that's not exactly what happens in history.
It was something that caught my eye because one of the servants who plays a major part in that timeline is Hans Christian Andersen. And it's like, I'm looking at AD 1888, and I'm like, Hans Christian Andersen died in 1875.
Yeah, but that was also something that actually is said in the game, where it's like, some of these people shouldn't be alive. Why are they here? Hans was one of them. Not Jack the Ripper. What's his name? Babbage. Charles Babbage was another one. Yeah. And Victor Frankenstein, too. Well, not Victor Frankenstein, but the person who wrote Frankenstein, I think, wasn't even alive yet. But at the same time, Frankenstein shouldn't exist there because Frankenstein's a book, not a real person.
Yeah.
So, but in Grand Order, though, not Grand Order, in Apocrypha, like, yeah, they do take a couple like liberties. Like, I'm pretty sure the Hanging Gates of Babylon, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon wasn't a mobile fortress.
No.
But but what really got me is what a lot of people like really know about. Well, if not a lot of people, but if you really study Greek literature, and honestly, I might get this wrong, but Achilles, where his weak point was his heel,
because it was the only part of him that was not dipped in the divine water of something or another.
See, it depends on like how you read it or where you read it from. Like some places they say it's like the divine lake that he gets dipped in. Some places are it's just like, oh, it's a bed of flames that he has to like rest in for like a X amount of time, and only his heel wasn't touching it. But what the show straight up said was your parents wanted you to have some modicum of mortality. That's not true. That was just an oversight. Same, and well, I don't know if this was an inaccuracy too, but it's the exact same thing that happened with Siegfried. Although you never really got a chance to see it, because Siegfried's thing was he had impenetrable armor too. Like, he had unbreakable skin. He's basically like Karna or Luke Cage. But translated in the Fate universe, you have to have an attack stronger than, I think, a B-class attack or an A-class attack to actually be able to break his skin. And except for one tiny spot on his back. Because what happened was how he defeated the dragon Fafnir, he bathed in its blood. Well, the dragon Fafnir had near impenetrable skin, but when he actually managed to kill him with Balmung, he bathed in its, well, he didn't bathe in his blood, it just blood splurted everywhere, and it covered his entire body, save for one leaf that just kind of stuck onto his back, like during the fight. So, if at any point in time you try to attack him, like, your weapon's basically going to break off his skin, unless you find that exact specific point where you can actually stab him in the back, and that will kill him. So, in that regard, they're both the same. But it didn't matter because Siegfried was literally the first to die.
Yeah. He also sucks in the mobile game.
He's not great in the mobile game now. But
I re-rolled it.
unless you have George, not me, Saint George, in there with you, because he had his attack Balmung is actually strong against dragons, and Saint George turns enemies into dragon types.
Oh, well, I mean,
so you'll do extra damage to anyone if you do that 1-2 combo.
I also just, on a side note, got a saber off of my free summon.
Oh, what'd you get?
The dude with he's like the dude. Oh, God. He has what's his name? He has closed eyes. He doesn't have a shirt on.
Does he have Calibolg?
Yeah, Calibolg.
Oh, okay, you got Fergus.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Fergus. Fergus is cool.
That guy.
Fergus is pretty cool. He's a good saber to have if you don't have sabers.
I have only 2.
There you go. I have 6, 7.
Apparently, Saber Lily is like bottom tier.
Yeah, she is. Like, she's good for support, honestly.
I could ascend her right now.
Do it.
I don't want to. 20 dragon fangs.
Hey, check the time. Where are we?
We are at 56 minutes, and 56 minutes.
56 minutes? We can keep going a little bit. Because I want to get more of Moses' like opinions on it. But, not Grand Order, but Apocrypha. Apocrypha, it had some really cool fights. I just wish that maybe the fights were more chaotic and spread out rather than all at the end. Like, it feels like, well, to be fair, a lot of them were working for one team, and the other one was working for one guy. But what did you think of Tokisada? Like, the Shiro's true form.
Oh, well, I didn't. It was all right. I didn't hate it. I just thought I
didn't hate it by any means, at all.
I mean, and I actually thought that his initial,
like who he was, because I could talk about that. Because when I first got into Grand Order, Apocrypha. One of the things that I heard about the show was, well, not the show, but the story was it would be what happened in an alternate timeline, and what would happen if Kiritsugu not only lost the war, but Kotomine was the one who found Shiro, and that's why he's got the name Shiro Kotomine. Yeah. Until you go through the story and realize, oh, that's not why at all. Yeah. He just killed the Kotomines and he took their name.
He's kind of a douche.
Yeah.
I mean,
but his again, anime lofty goal thing that he had, where it was still, he wanted to save everybody, and so he's going to use the Heaven's Field to basically make everyone immortal at the cost of their emotions or their humanity.
Yep, which I mean, has always been a big debate with anime villains and stuff like that, where people try to make them seem like they're.
Well, it depends on. It's not even just anime. It's just fiction in general. It's harder to make a villain where it's just I have no goals. I want to do this because I am not nice. It's basically it helps a lot more if whatever they're doing, they believe that they're doing it for the greater good. Perfect example, going back to comics again, Magneto. He generally thinks everything he's doing is for the betterment of mutant kind, like in X-Men. But a lot of things he's doing does a lot of bad shit for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's why the X-Men tries to stop him. Also, it's Yeah, it's like everyone should live in peace and harmony, not just mutants. Everyone.
And that was Atalanta's point too. Like all the children should be happy, except she kind of gave up not really her identity, but kind of any other principles that she had.
Well, she had a pure goal, wanted to because they actually touched on this when Shiro revealed that he's everyone's master now. So he was like, well, I want to know what your wishes are for the Holy Grail War, and she didn't have any really. She just wants all children to live happily. So when she saw that the Jack the Ripper that was summoned was a child, and on top of that, the Jack the Ripper was an amalgamation of several orphans who were killed in the streets of London, if they weren't unborn children from just purgatory and shit like that. And Ruler well, we have to end this now, and she defeats Jack. That's when she loses all of her shit because well, what the you just killed the very reason why I'm fighting this war. What the fuck is wrong with you? So evil's all about point of view, really, what it is.
Well, yeah, and justice in general is. But,
yeah, and so
that's always been a big debate for
everything,
which is kind of why
the whole destroy the world thing is
overdone and old.
It's overdone and old, but at the same time, if you were to do it now, it would have to do it in a specific way. And that's why Kotomine is Kirei Kotomine isn't a terrible villain, but he could be better. His whole thing, he decides to try to destroy the world with the Holy Grail because he's bored, and he never really got a grasp of positive emotions and fascinations and things like that until Gilgamesh showed him. He's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you killed your master? Why would I do that? No, dude, just bury this knife in his back. It'll be great. Stab. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was.
See, and that's why you can't have assholes with superpowers. And yeah, things like that happen.
Yeah, but that's why usually whenever someone gets a superpower, there's always a counterbalance where it's oh, well, I have a superpower and I have to stop you because plot. And that's why. Shield's goal, because he was summoned in one of the first Holy Grail Wars as ruler, who wanted to make sure everything was going well, and the woman he loved died during the war, so he's just that's bullshit, and so that's why he decides to try to use Heaven's Field to make everyone immortal, and what that will do is it'll transfix their souls into other objects, and again, that basically all but completely strips them of their humanity if he was to do that at a mass scale. So when they find out, there's oh, well, we have to stop this. When Yig Millennia, all they wanted was power control.
You know who we haven't touched on yet? Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler.
Which is funny because...
To be fair, he did get pieced up pretty quick.
He did. And it's funny because in this, he was a
Lancer. Yeah.
But if you play the mobile game, he's a Berserker.
Yes. And I think... if you play Extra, he's also Berserker with a completely different art style.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, you also have to get the right route.
Yeah. So I thought that it was fine that they had him as a Lancer in this instead of Berserker. Because, well, they already had a Berserker. And
I think they had a better Berserker, honestly. No, different team. Vlad's on Vlad's side, they had Frankenstein. So... yeah, I thought that was a better one. And at the same time, where they were in Romania. So they specifically tried to summon Vlad the Impaler. And Vlad the Impaler just makes more sense as a Lancer. Because he literally impaled people. Yeah. Have you seen that photo of Vlad the Impaler discovers marshmallows for the first time? And he has a fork and he puts the marshmallow on it and he's like, well, these are fucking great.
Yeah.
So... Avic Brion or whatever. Yeah. The guy who's trying to make Adam, but then he ended up making Liv. I can't remember his actual story. Oh wait, I think I was talking about him, or I might have been talking about Evangelion. I don't know. But
those are two completely different things.
Are they? Go to your local library, kids.
I've never seen Evangelion.
Oh, well, there you go. So now that you're back, I can actually go back a little bit and talk about why Arturia really bugs me.
Oh boy.
well, it's still for the most part that Arturia's face is literally everywhere, and it's only gotten worse.
That's not her fault. She's the original one.
But I think the biggest thing is like everyone's saying like, oh, it's a saber face, it's a saber face, oh, it's another saber face. Well, it's not the main reason, but it's one thing that I just can't stand about it. It's not that they're saber face. It's not that everyone is a saber face. It's that Saber is an Arcreed face. And so you remember Tsukihime, right?
No.
You don't know Tsukihime. I know that. But Matt, you know Tsukihime because we got into it roughly the same time with Melty Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you remember Arcreed, the blonde
Yes.
vampire?
Yes.
Yeah. Basically looks just like her. In fact, here's a comparison picture. I'll show you a comparison. Actually, I showed you a comparison picture before, but I'll show you a picture of Arcreed, like what she looks like, and tell me not at first glance that's fucking Saber or even Nero.
You know, I mean, I said I like Saber a lot, and she probably is my favorite servant. I'm not saying she's the best, I know that, but my favorite servant. I really like her personality. She's a nonsensical. I want to get shit done. Shiro, get better. Shiro, stop interfering so we can, win the fucking Holy Grail. She has honor. She just resonates with me as a good.
He says she has honor.
I mean, when she fought German, that was one of my favorite.
Well, she is a knight, so.
I know, but I mean, so is fucking Lancelot. Look what the fuck happened to him.
Okay.
I don't care.
Do you know the story of Lancelot, though?
I don't care.
Like, he goes crazy because of all the fucking... Okay. Yeah, I know you don't care, but fuck it, stop.
I saw Merlin.
This is Arcreed.
Okay, sure, it's Saber.
Yeah, it's Saber.
I get it, but I think I like her personality, personally. And I like the fact that she's a knight. I think she's just a really cool, solid character. And for a face of a show, having a good, solid character, I think my serious, and all 100% serious, my problem with Saber is that she's overrated, and she is just like, I don't think she's the best. Like, she's supposed. She's. I wouldn't say she's quite like a Mary Sue, but she's. I wouldn't say Mary Sue.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't say that she's exactly like a Mary Sue, but it's just.
You know what it is, like. So to me, maybe you can see.
She's okay. You know what? You know what? I think I found my biggest contradiction. So, in the original Fate, like she argues with Shiro, saying like, "Well, living for like saying like you should only live for yourself and all the not live for yourself. You should only live like for the sake of like benefiting others exclusively with no regard to your own. That's a terrible way to live. Stop fucking doing that." Meanwhile, she does the exact same fucking thing. Like, granted, for the most part of the actual Fate arc, she is trying to get the Holy Grail so that she can redo the Selection of the King, so that she doesn't do that. But at the same time, she's calling the kettle black, and her name's Pot.
But I mean, here's the thing: like, you're right. She's doing it to redo how she thinks she fucked up. She's not doing it for herself.
Yeah, but at the same time, like throughout the whole entire Fate storyline where she's trying to do this, she's got no regard for herself. She's only doing everything just to save Shiro, and that's it.
Wait, what?
In original Fate.
God, I don't remember. Stop referencing it. I don't remember it.
Okay, Moses. Here's the thing. You really, really, really like Saber from Fate Zero. Like, that's the thing.
And I like her in Unlimited Blade.
Unlimited Blade Works, she was better. Like, I would say that she was better in Unlimited Blade Works than in Fate. My disgust, but my dislike for the character is coming from the original Fate arc.
Here's a problem you're having. I see a problem now.
Okay.
It's not a good show, George. You're having a problem with a bad show. It's not Saber. It is a bad show. Think about it. You know who translated well to other good shows? Saber. Shiro, on the other hand, translated the same.
Because Saber still had the same problem in Zero. The only problem is that she had a worse master. Where she was like, "You're just gonna do whatever I tell you. You're nothing but a tool. Obey me. Guard my wife."
You know who's a better knight than Arturia?
Darn.
Dyrmid? Dyrmid got the shaft. Figuratively and literally.
No, I was actually a completely different character.
Oh, okay. Anyway, can we go back to Apocrypha, because that's what this podcast was supposed to be about?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we probably should close it though, because we just hit over an hour. So
Hour 8.
Hour 8. So, final thoughts about Apocrypha, Moses.
At the end of the day, I was really struggling what to score this. And I know that's not exactly what you're asking, but I like to score my shows.
Yeah.
I gave it like a 5.5 to a 6, which for me doesn't mean like, it's a terrible show. For me, 5's average. I think it's an average to a fine show. There's a lot of problems there, but I know you mentioned this, and I think I had to step away for a second, but Achilles versus Kron, or what? I think Kieran. That fight was absolutely fantastic. Like, that was the moment where I'm like, oh, cool, I can pay attention to this show now. Because, like, every other fight that was happening around them wasn't even that interesting, but that one really captivated me. The animation. Here's the thing. That is the same animation where it's fluid, but that one still looked good. They had more budget for that one. I don't know what the fuck was happening in the other fights for. So that was a good example of them using good fluid animation for a fight. But I thought the fights overall could have been more interesting and better. I think Mordred really kind of saved the show, her and her master. Because
dude, she didn't save the show. She stole the fucking show.
No, but seriously,
there's literally a time where, like, towards the end, where after Ryder was fighting Semiramis's like floating fortress thing, and like he crash lands onto the fortress, and Semiramis is just there. He's just like, out of nowhere, here comes fucking Mordred in a goddamn plane and crashes it into the thing, and the episode ends. That is arguably one of my favorite Mordred moments.
I don't think that she's great or like amazing.
I do.
I know everyone does. I think she's really good though. But I think that because of how not good everyone else, she just shines that much brighter. And I think that's what's happening.
I thought
here.
the scene where she
I can see that.
The scene where when they were having when her master was sitting there like outside the cafe and she was chasing around the cat.
Yeah, that was adorable.
That scene was
yeah.
But yeah, I like the way everyone. I like some of the fights again. A lot of them could have been better. It's a show about that. I feel like they could have did a little better job with that. I didn't care about a lot of the masters, but then again, maybe you're not really supposed to.
Well, you only see like the Yig Millennia, the red team's masters. They were all like comatose and taken over by Shiro, so you don't see any of them.
Yeah,
which is kind of the problem that I had too. Is like I like seeing relationships build between the two because that's always been a thing.
Yeah.
But in this one, I mean, you kind of just shafted half of the cast because of that.
Exactly. But here's the problem with the show. There was too many characters, like, to begin with, honestly.
Yes, there was.
Yeah, there was actually too many characters, and they didn't actually kill them off or, like, write them well enough, fast enough. So, I can see where that's just, like, that could be totally annoying.
And, I was going to say real quick, what's it called? Saber of White Outfits Master.
Fat Man?
Yeah.
Fat Man
I swear I thought he was going to die in like 5 episodes. Lo and behold, he survived.
That's right, because they were going to use him for Castor's experiment.
I did not, and they even gave him some development. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought the show was fine. I thought it could have been a lot better. I mean, from Fate, that's not 06. I mean... But again, it's a good show. Sorry, not good. I can't use the word good. It's fine.
I mean, at the end, I scored it, I think, a point higher than 06, but...
What'd you give 06?
06?
Yeah. 4, please?
I think like a 5.
Oh my god, it's too high. Go on.
I think I gave us 06 a 6.
Oh my god.
So I think I gave Apocrypha a 6, Zero got a 10, a 9 or a 10, Unlimited Blade Works got a 9, and, we just lost power.
No, we're still. I mean, we're still recording. My laptop's charged.
Okay.
Yeah. We just.
But we did just lose power.
Then we gotta hurry up and wrap this up.
We're still going for you guys this week.
Yeah. Oh, pause back.
Getting a few lights.
Anyway.
But yeah. So again, like stacked up against like the other faiths. Oh, I mean, Extra's going on right now, so we're only 3 episodes in. I can't say much about it yet. Other than that,
Extra's good.
Other than that, it's again they're keeping up this trend of animating Fate all by different studios. Every single one of them.
Not every single one. UFO Table did like 3.
Well, okay. So Dean.
Oh, I keep confusing Carno Kyokai. Never mind.
Dean
did 06. Dean did 06. I don't remember who did the Unlimited Blade Works movie.
Dean.
Oh, was it Dean?
Yeah.
Ugh.
To be fair, that movie wasn't bad.
It's fine.
Zero
Eh.
Zero was done by
More animation on that one. UFO Table, yeah.
So yeah, UFO Table did Zero and Unlimited Blade Works 2014.
Oh, and I guess they did the movie too, actually.
Yeah, they're doing movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Heaven's Feel movies?
Yeah.
Apocrypha was done by A1, and Extra is being done by Shaft.
Yeah, because they did the openings for Extra.
Yeah, so...
Like for the game.
It's pretty cool as Shaft doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it in the least. But yeah. So...
I thought Fate Apocrypha, like, in terms of a Fate show, like, yeah, it's better than 06, but it is one of the weaker ones. But I did still have a lot of fun watching it, only because of the servant fights.
Yeah.
So things really kicked up, and I just like seeing like the different servants and the renditions of them, and like what they look like, how they interact, especially with the masters. So the black team actually got more like than I thought that they would get. Other than that, Atalante interacting with Achilles was cool, and Mordred's the best. Like Mordred and Kyrie stole that goddamn show.
Yep.
But I think if we were gonna go by ranking, I would probably give it like a 6, maybe 6.5. Like in a series that usually produces like 9s and 10s, I gave it like a 6, so that's why I'm a little meh. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless you guys have any other extra things you want to throw in.
Not really. I mean, we're an hour in. That's 45 more minutes than I wanted to ever talk about Fate Apocrypha. So, I mean, we're...
Even though we really didn't, we talked about Grand Order like half the time. And then like 06 and all the other Fates like 15% of the time.
Every time I rewatch this podcast on YouTube, it's going to say Fate Apocrypha at the bottom, so, you know.
I might have an addendum or something, I don't know.
There you go.
But thank you very much for you guys for watching or listening.
Or
Depending on how hope the pictures that I'm gonna eventually put in here are good enough. If not, you're probably just gonna see just a screen.
Insert next anime we will watch here or talk about here.
Well, no. How about here? No, here. Yeah, here's good.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just making more work for myself. Anyway, so come back next month. Hopefully, it'll be a month when we're gonna discuss the next anime. And in the meantime, well, once this is released, you'll have that 1 month to